As you settle into the gentle embrace of evening, feeling the day's tensions dissolve like morning mist, imagine for a moment that you could step outside tonight and look up to see something that would transform every sunset, every dawn, every moment of gazing at the sky. Magnificent rings arcing gracefully across the heavens above you, catching the last light of day and transforming it into streams of cosmic jewelry that crown our beautiful planet. Tonight, as you rest in the peaceful darkness that naturally follows day, we're going to explore together what it might be like to live on a ringed Earth, not as a chaotic collision of space debris, but as the most elegant cosmic architecture imaginable, a system of orbital dancers that would turn our everyday sky into a constantly changing masterpiece of light, shadow, and celestial beauty. Picture yourself lying in a meadow on this ringed Earth, the soft grass beneath you still warm from the day's sunshine. As twilight deepens, you watch the rings emerge like a cosmic necklace strung across the sky. Each particle a tiny jewel catching and reflecting the last golden rays of sunset. These rings didn't arrive through violence or catastrophe, but through the same gentle cosmic processes that shape all celestial beauty, perhaps through the graceful capture of a passing asteroid that broke apart not in destruction, but in a slow, elegant dance with Earth's gravity, each fragment finding its perfect orbital home. Or perhaps our rings formed through an even more poetic process, the gradual accumulation of cosmic dust and ice particles, drawn to Earth like iron filings to a magnet, each speck settling into the precise orbital distance where it could dance forever in gravitational harmony. Over millions of years, these cosmic dancers would have gathered, creating layers upon layers of shimmering material that now form Earth's crown. The mathematics of ring formation reads like celestial poetry. Each particle, whether no larger than a grain of sand or as substantial as a house, finds its place in what astronomers call the Roche limit, that perfect distance from Earth where our planet's gravity is strong enough to keep the particles in orbit, yet gentle enough to prevent them from falling to the surface. It's as if Earth has learned to wear jewelry, each ring particle held at exactly the right distance to create maximum beauty with perfect stability. As you breathe slowly and deeply in your peaceful resting place, feel yourself becoming part of this cosmic choreography. You are lying on a planet that wears the most magnificent crown in the solar system, a crown that changes with the seasons, shifts with the hours, and dances eternally in the gravitational embrace between Earth and space. These rings don't threaten or overwhelm, they nurture and inspire, creating a sky so beautiful that every culture on Earth would have woven their mythology around the daily miracle of living beneath cosmic jewelry. The ring particles themselves are cosmic storytellers. Some began as ancient moonlets that gradually shed their material through gentle tidal forces, like flowers releasing their petals into a celestial breeze. Others started as visitors from the outer solar system, comets and asteroids that found Earth so welcoming that they chose to stay, breaking apart not through violence, but through the same forces that create the elegant dance of the tides. Tonight, as you rest beneath our current ringless sky, you can imagine that first moment in Earth's history when the rings would have become visible, not appearing suddenly like a magic trick, but emerging slowly over thousands of years as more particles found their orbital homes, the rings growing brighter and more defined, until one evening, an early human would have looked up to see Earth crowned with cosmic light for the very first time. These rings would have made our planet not just habitable, but enchanted. Every night would offer a different view as the rings caught moonlight, starlight, and the subtle glow of the aurora, creating a cosmic kaleidoscope above every sleeping city, every peaceful forest, every quiet ocean. You would never need to travel to find wonder. Wonder would dance above you every single night, a reminder that you live on a planet so beloved by the cosmos that it wears jewelry made of starlight. The architecture of wonder, how rings dance in space. As your breathing settles into the natural rhythm of approaching sleep, let yourself drift upward in imagination, rising gently above Earth's surface until you can see our hypothetical rings not as distant jewelry, but as an intricate cosmic city where billions of particles live in perfect harmony, each following the ancient laws of orbital mechanics that read like celestial sheet music. From this peaceful vantage point high above Earth's atmosphere, you can see that our rings aren't uniform like a simple band of light, but are composed of thousands of individual ringlets, each with its own character and rhythm. Some are dense with particles that sparkle like crushed diamonds, while others are so sparse they appear as gossamer threads stretched between the darkness. The gaps between major ring sections aren't empty spaces but breathing room, like the pauses between notes that make music possible. Watch as tiny shepherd moons, each no larger than a small city, glide along the edges of the main ring bands, their gentle gravitational influence keeping the ring particles organized in perfect formation. These shepherd moons are like cosmic conductors, their mere presence creating invisible boundaries that prevent the ring particles from wandering out of their designated orbits. They don't force or push, they simply exist in their own orbits, and their gravitational whispers keep trillions of ring particles dancing in synchronized perfection. The ring particles themselves move in what scientists call differential rotation, a phenomenon as beautiful as it is precise. Particles closer to Earth complete their orbits faster than those farther out, creating the appearance of waves of light and shadow that ripple through the ring system like wind across a field of grain. If you could speed up time from your peaceful observation point, you would see these waves flowing through the rings in hypnotic patterns, each particle maintaining its individual orbit while contributing to the greater cosmic symphony. Some of the most beautiful features in our ringed sky would be created by gravitational resonances, orbital relationships where ring particles complete exact ratios of orbits compared to our shepherd moons, where a ring particle orbits exactly twice for every 3 orbits of a shepherd moon. The gentle gravitational tugs create gaps in the rings, carved out as precisely as if designed by a cosmic architect. These Kirkwood gaps, named after the astronomer who first understood them, would appear as dark lanes threading through the bright ring material, creating natural windows through which you could see the stars beyond. As you float in your imagination above this orbital ballet, notice how the ring particles are constantly exchanging energy and momentum through gentle gravitational interactions and occasional soft collisions. When 2 particles meet, they don't crash violently, but rather touch briefly, like dancers changing partners, sharing energy and sometimes sticking together to create slightly larger particles, or gently separating to continue their individual journeys. This constant, subtle interaction keeps the rings dynamic and alive, preventing them from either spreading out into space or spiraling down to Earth. The inner edges of our ring system would be defined by Earth's own magnetic field, which creates invisible barriers that charged particles cannot cross. Here, the smallest ring particles, tiny grains of dust and ice, would glow softly as they interact with Earth's magnetosphere, creating a gentle aurora-like light that would make the inner rings shimmer with ethereal colors, especially during periods of solar activity. From your peaceful floating perspective, you can see how the ring system creates its own weather patterns. Occasionally, the gravitational influence of the moon would create subtle disturbances that ripple through the rings like cosmic tsunamis, so gentle they take months to cross from one side of the ring system to the other. These spiral density waves would create temporary bright spots in the rings that would slowly rotate around Earth, giving observers on the surface an ever-changing light show. The outer edges of our ring system would fade gradually into space, with the most distant particles taking several days to complete a single orbit around Earth. These outer ring particles would be the most ancient, some perhaps dating back to Earth's formation, carrying within their crystalline structure the chemical signature of our planet's birth. They serve as cosmic libraries, preserving the memory of what our solar system was like billions of years ago. As you imagine yourself gently descending back toward Earth's surface, you carry with you the peace of having witnessed orbital mechanics not as cold physics, but as the choreography of cosmic dancers who have been perfecting their performance for millions of years. Each ring particle knows its place not through rigid rules, but through the gentle guidance of gravity, the same force that keeps you safely anchored to Earth as you rest tonight under our beautiful, if ringless, sky. The rings would never be chaotic or threatening, because they are held in place by the same fundamental forces that create stability throughout the cosmos. Just as the Moon has orbited Earth reliably for billions of years, just as Earth itself follows its faithful path around the Sun, our ring particles would dance in predictable, peaceful patterns that would make the sky a source of comfort and wonder for every person who has ever looked up and marveled at the beauty of living in a universe designed for dancing. Seasons of light and shadow, living beneath the rings. As autumn deepens around you tonight, and you settle into the natural rhythms of seasonal change, imagine how different the experience of Earth's seasons would be if we lived beneath the gentle embrace of planetary rings. Just as you've learned to find comfort in the predictable cycle of shorter days and longer nights, the inhabitants of a ringed Earth would discover that their seasons are painted not just with changing leaves and shifting sunlight, but with the slow, majestic movement of cosmic shadows and celestial illumination. Picture yourself in early spring on our ringed planet, standing in a garden where the first flowers are beginning to bloom. As Earth begins its tilt toward the Sun, the rings would start to cast their shadows at a slightly different angle across the landscape. During winter, the ring shadows would have fallen primarily across the northern hemisphere, creating a season of gentle twilight that would make even the coldest months seem wrapped in cosmic comfort. But now, as spring approaches, you watch the shadow patterns gradually shift, bringing longer periods of direct sunlight, while still maintaining the ethereal beauty of ring-filtered light. The most breathtaking moments would come during the equinoxes, when Earth's tilt aligns the ring plane precisely with the Sun. On these 2 days each year, once in spring and once in autumn, the rings would appear from Earth's surface as an impossibly thin line of light, stretching directly overhead from horizon to horizon. Standing beneath this celestial bridge, you would witness one of the most profound visual reminders of our planet's place in the cosmic dance. a moment when the three-dimensional architecture of our ring system compresses into a single line of concentrated starlight. During summer, in the northern hemisphere, you would experience what astronomers call ring summer, a season when the rings are tilted away from the sun, casting their shadows primarily across the southern latitudes, while the north enjoys not only longer days, but also the gentle illumination of ring shine during the nights. Ring shine occurs when sunlight reflects off the countless particles in the ring system, creating a soft, even glow across the night sky that would be brighter than moonlight, but infinitely more ethereal. Imagine lying in a summer meadow on ringed Earth, watching as twilight deepens, but never becomes completely dark. The ring shine would provide enough gentle illumination to read by, to walk safely along familiar paths, and to see the faces of loved ones, even on the darkest nights. This natural nightlight would be steady and dependable, unaffected by lunar phases, creating a sense of security and wonder that would fundamentally change how humans experience the night. As autumn arrives and you witness the familiar beauty of changing leaves, you would also observe the gradual transition of ring shadows back across the landscape. The shadows wouldn't be sharp and dark like those cast by mountains or buildings, but soft and diffuse, creating areas of perpetual twilight that would support unique ecosystems. Plants and animals in these ring shadow zones would evolve to thrive in gentle, filtered sunlight, creating landscapes unlike anything we know on our current Earth. Winter beneath the rings would be a season of particular magic. As the ring shadows sweep across the northern latitudes, they would create natural temperature regulation, preventing the most extreme cold while maintaining the seasonal rhythms that life depends upon. The shadows wouldn't bring darkness, but rather a golden twilight, as ring particles scatter and filter sunlight into the most beautiful spectrum of colors. Snow falling through ring shadow zones would sparkle with reflected ring shine, creating winter landscapes that seem illuminated from within by cosmic fairy lights. Different latitudes would experience the rings differently throughout the year, creating a planet where traveling from north to south wouldn't just mean changing climates, but experiencing entirely different relationships with the sky above. Near the equator, the rings would always appear as a magnificent arch, stretching from east to west overhead. Their appearance changing subtly with the seasons, but always providing a dramatic backdrop for daily life. The tropics would never experience the deep ring shadows of the polar regions, but they would enjoy the steady beauty of ring shine year-round. In the polar regions, residents would experience the most dramatic seasonal changes in their ring-dominated sky. During their respective winters, they would live for months in the soft twilight of ring shadow, a season that would feel not like deprivation, but like living inside a cosmic cathedral where light filters through stained glass windows made of orbital ice and rock. During summer, when the ring shadows move away, the sudden return of direct sunlight would be celebrated as a cosmic festival, a reminder of how ring shadows make us appreciate unfiltered sunshine even more deeply. The beauty of seasonal ring changes would create natural calendars more precise and inspiring than any human timepiece. Ancient cultures on ringed Earth would have developed mythologies around the predictable dance of light and shadow, seeing in the seasonal ring patterns the breathing of the planet itself. The cosmic inhale and exhale that marks the passage of time on a world crowned with celestial jewelry. As you rest tonight in your peaceful bed, imagine falling asleep beneath a sky where the seasons are marked not only by temperature and daylight, but by the slow, majestic movement of cosmic architecture that connects your daily experience to the grandest scales of space and time. On a ringed Earth, you would never forget that you live on a planet that dances, wearing jewelry made of starlight that changes its beauty with each season's turn. The ringed sky through time, a day and night transformed. As the peaceful hours of your evening continue to unfold, let yourself imagine awakening on a ringed Earth to witness how these cosmic ornaments would transform every moment of every day, from the first light of dawn to the gentle embrace of night, creating a sky that never stops changing, never stops inspiring, never stops reminding you that you live on the most beautifully adorned planet in the known universe. Picture yourself waking before sunrise, in a world where dawn begins not with a simple lightening of the eastern horizon, but with the gradual illumination of the ring system as it catches the first rays of sunlight, while Earth still lies in shadow. From your bedroom window, you would watch as the rings transform from invisible to gossamer, from gossamer to silver, from silver to gold, creating a cosmic sunrise that happens above you, while the terrestrial sunrise is still an hour away. This pre-dawn ring illumination would serve as nature's gentlest alarm clock, gradually increasing in brightness until the rings become brilliant arcs of light that announce the coming day. The particles closest to Earth would catch sunlight first, creating an inner ring of gold that slowly expands outward. As more distant particles emerge from Earth's shadow, by the time the sun finally peaks above Earth's horizon, the entire ring system would be blazing with reflected light, turning your morning sky into a cathedral of cosmic architecture. As morning progresses and you go about your daily activities, the rings would provide a constantly changing backdrop that makes even the most routine tasks feel connected to cosmic wonder. The angle of ring illumination would shift throughout the morning hours, creating moving patterns of light and shadow that would make gardens, city squares, and quiet forests feel alive with celestial movement. Looking up during your morning coffee, you might notice how individual sections of the rings pulse with brightness as the sun's angle changes, each section taking its turn to gleam like polished metal against the blue sky. During midday, when our current sun can be harsh and overwhelming, a ringed Earth would offer something magical. The rings themselves would create natural shade and light filtering that would make even the brightest day feel comfortable and welcoming. The ring particles would scatter sunlight into a gentle, diffused glow that reduces glare while maintaining illumination, creating outdoor environments that feel naturally optimized for human activity. Gardeners would notice how ring-filtered light brings out colors in flowers that harsh direct sunlight never could, while photographers would find that ring light creates the perfect conditions for capturing beauty without harsh shadows. As afternoon transitions toward evening, you would witness one of the most spectacular daily shows in our solar system, ring sunset. Unlike our single sun setting in the west, the rings would continue catching and reflecting sunlight long after sunset, creating multiple layers of golden and amber light across the sky. The densest parts of the rings would remain illuminated the longest, creating brilliant arcs of light that would slowly fade from gold to deep orange to soft red, as Earth's shadow gradually covers the entire ring system. Evening on a ringed planet would never be the abrupt transition from day to night that we experience now, but rather a gentle gradient that lasts for hours. As true darkness approaches, the rings wouldn't disappear, but would begin to reveal their nighttime personality. Ring particles would catch and reflect starlight, moonlight, and the subtle glow of Earth's aurora, creating a soft luminescence that would make navigation possible even on the darkest nights. The night sky beneath rings would be unlike anything we can imagine under our current stars. The rings would frame familiar constellations in ways that would make every stargazing session feel like seeing the universe through cosmic picture frames. The Milky Way would appear to flow between and through the ring gaps, while planets and bright stars would seem to dance along the ring edges as Earth's rotation carries us through the night. During different seasons, you would notice how the daily rhythm of ring illumination changes. In summer, when the rings are tilted away from your hemisphere, ring shine would provide gentle illumination throughout the short nights. In winter, when ring shadows dominate your region, the nights would be darker but filled with the ethereal beauty of ring particles glowing softly as they catch light from stars and aurora. Perhaps most remarkably, the rings would serve as cosmic sundials and calendars more precise than any human invention. The shadow patterns cast by the rings would move across Earth's surface in predictable ways that would allow any observer to determine not only the time of day, but also the season and even their exact location on the planet. Ancient civilizations on ringed Earth would have developed sophisticated understanding of astronomy, not through abstract study, but through daily observation of the cosmic timepiece that dances overhead every single day. The rings would also create unique optical phenomena throughout each day. Ring coronas would appear when the sun passes behind thin sections of the ring system, creating brilliant displays of diffracted light. Ring halos would form when ice particles in the rings interact with atmospheric moisture, painting circles of rainbow light around sections of the ring system. During atmospheric turbulence, the rings would appear to shimmer and dance, creating a sky that feels truly alive. As you prepare for sleep tonight beneath our ringless sky, you can imagine how restful it would be. to fall asleep on a world where the day never ends abruptly, but fades gradually through stages of cosmic beauty, where night never brings complete darkness, but offers the gentle comfort of ring shine, and where morning arrives not as an interruption, but as a gradual awakening of celestial light that reminds you each day that you are blessed to live beneath the most beautiful sky in all the cosmos. Tidal gardens, how rings would shape our world. As you sink deeper into the natural rhythms of rest, feeling your body relax as completely as ocean waves settling into calm, imagine how our hypothetical rings would extend their gentle influence beyond the beauty of the sky, reaching down to touch every aspect of life on Earth with the subtle but profound effects of cosmic architecture that breathes with our planet's daily and seasonal rhythms. The ocean tides that currently rise and fall twice daily under the moon's gravitational embrace would become something far more complex and beautiful on a ringed Earth, while the moon would still be the primary conductor of our tidal orchestra. The ring system would add harmonious overtones, creating tidal patterns that are more intricate and predictable than our current simple high and low tides. Some coastal areas might experience 3 or even 4 tidal peaks each day, as the combined gravitational effects of moon and rings create resonances that make the oceans dance in more complex rhythms. Picture standing on a beach at dawn on ringed Earth, watching waves that pulse not just with lunar timing, but with the subtle additional rhythm of ring particle concentrations passing overhead. These ring-influenced tides wouldn't be dramatic or dangerous. They would be like additional instruments joining a familiar musical piece, creating harmonies that make the ocean's song richer and more beautiful. The tidal pools left behind would be more numerous and varied, creating micro-ecosystems where marine life would evolve to take advantage of these complex tidal rhythms. The rings would also create their own form of atmospheric tides, subtle changes in air pressure and atmospheric density as the gravitational influence of concentrated ring material passes overhead. These atmospheric tides would be far too gentle for humans to feel directly, but they would create unique weather patterns that make a ringed Earth's climate more stable and predictable. High and low pressure systems would tend to follow the ring shadows, creating natural air conditioning that moderates temperature extremes and creates gentle breezes that arrive with cosmic punctuality. Occasionally, individual ring particles would complete their cosmic journey by entering Earth's atmosphere as meteors. But unlike the random meteor showers we occasionally witness today, ring meteors would arrive in predictable patterns that follow the orbital mechanics of the ring system itself. These wouldn't be violent cosmic bombardments, but gentle cosmic gifts, tiny particles that would streak across the sky in beautiful displays that occur at regular intervals, like clockwork fireworks that celebrate the connection between Earth and its ring system. These regular meteor showers would deposit trace amounts of ring material into Earth's atmosphere and onto its surface, cosmic dust that carries unique chemical signatures from the outer solar system. This ring material would act as natural fertilizer, providing rare elements and minerals that would enrich soil and ocean chemistry in ways that support even more diverse and robust ecosystems. Farmers on ringed Earth would learn to time certain plantings to coincide with meteor shower seasons, knowing that their crops would benefit from this gentle cosmic nutrition. The ring shadows that move across Earth's surface with seasonal predictability would create unique climate zones unlike anything on our current planet. Areas that spend several months each year in ring shadow would develop temperate, forest-like conditions, even in latitudes that would otherwise be desert. These ring shadow oases would support lush ecosystems that thrive in the filtered sunlight and moderate temperatures that ring shadows provide, creating biological diversity that makes a ringed Earth even more habitable than our current world. Ring shine regions, areas that receive enhanced nighttime illumination from reflected ring light, would support organisms with unique circadian rhythms adapted to these never fully dark conditions. Nocturnal animals would be more active and visible, creating nighttime ecosystems that are rich and accessible to human observation. Plants that normally close their leaves at night would remain partially open during ringshine periods, extending their photosynthetic periods and growing larger and more robust than their ringless counterparts. The interaction between ring particles and Earth's magnetic field would create enhanced aurora displays that occur more frequently and at lower latitudes than our current aurora. These ring-enhanced aurora wouldn't just be occasional treats for high-latitude dwellers, but regular features of the nighttime sky that bring the beauty of charged particles dancing with magnetic field lines to people around the globe. The aurora would often appear to flow through and around the ring structure, creating displays that combine the architecture of the rings with the fluid motion of aurora in ways that would inspire art, poetry, and spiritual contemplation in every human culture. The gravitational influence of the ring system would also affect Earth's rotation in subtle but measurable ways, creating minute changes in the length of our days that would vary with the density and distribution of ring material. These changes would be far too small for humans to notice directly, but they would create additional natural rhythms that life on Earth would evolve to recognize and incorporate into biological cycles. Some organisms might develop sensitivity to these subtle rotational changes, using them as additional timing cues for migration, reproduction, or seasonal activity. Perhaps most beautifully, the rings would create acoustic effects that would make Earth itself more musical. As ring particles move through space, they would interact with Earth's magnetic field and solar wind in ways that generate extremely low-frequency radio waves. These space sounds wouldn't be audible to human ears without special equipment, but they would add a cosmic soundtrack to Earth that sensitive instruments could detect and convert to audible tones. Imagine falling asleep to the gentle, ethereal music of your planet's ring system, singing its orbital song into the cosmic night. The ring system would also serve as natural protection against some forms of space debris, with the ring particles acting as a shield that would intercept and absorb smaller asteroids and comets before they could reach Earth's surface. This cosmic umbrella wouldn't protect against major impacts, but it would reduce the frequency of smaller meteorite strikes, making Earth as even safer harbor for the evolution of complex life. As you rest tonight, breathing in rhythm with the natural cycles that sustain all life on Earth, you can imagine how peaceful it would be to live on a world where the cosmic architecture above creates not just beauty, but also enhanced habitability, where the rings serve as cosmic gardeners that help Earth maintain the perfect conditions for life to flourish in all its magnificent diversity, beneath skies that remind every living thing, every single day, that we are all participants in the most elegant cosmic dance imaginable. Ancient rings, future skies, the long dance of orbital time. As the deep quiet of night settles around you, and your thoughts naturally drift toward the vast scales of time that dwarf our daily concerns, imagine yourself as a witness to the longest, most graceful story ever told, the billion-year evolution of Earth's hypothetical ring system, a celestial epic that would unfold across geological ages, connecting every moment of human existence to the grand cosmic cycles that govern all things in the universe. In the deep past of our ringed Earth, when the first multicellular life was beginning to explore the possibilities of complex existence, our ring system would have been young and brilliant, dense with material and blazing with reflected sunlight that would have made even cloudy days seem touched by starlight. These ancient rings would have been more massive than our imagined present-day system, containing perhaps 10 times as much material, creating shadows so pronounced they would have influenced the very evolution of early life. Picture vast ring shadow zones that remained in gentle twilight for months at a time, creating evolutionary pressures that would have produced organisms perfectly adapted to filtered light, plants with leaves designed to capture and concentrate the ethereal glow of ring shine, animals with eyes evolved to see beauty in the spectrum of light that exists nowhere else in the solar system. The fossil record of ringed Earth would tell stories not just of climate and environment, but of life developing under cosmic architecture that shaped every aspect of biological adaptation. As millions of years passed, the rings would have begun their slow, majestic evolution. Some particles, particularly the smallest ones, would have gradually spiraled inward toward Earth, their orbital energy dissipated through subtle interactions with Earth's magnetic field and the thin upper atmosphere. But this wouldn't be loss or decay. It would be cosmic recycling, with ring material eventually entering Earth's atmosphere as gentle meteor showers that would have enriched our planet's chemistry for millions of years. Other ring particles, particularly those in the outer reaches of the ring system, would have slowly migrated outward, their orbits expanding as they exchanged energy with passing comets and asteroids. Some would eventually escape Earth's gravitational embrace entirely, becoming independent asteroids that would carry with them the chemical signature of their time as part of Earth's crown. These escaped ring particles would become cosmic ambassadors, spreading Earth's story throughout the solar system. The most beautiful aspect of ring evolution would be the way the system would have continuously renewed itself. New material would have joined the rings throughout Earth's history. Dust from comet tails, debris from asteroid impacts on Earth's small moons, and volcanic material ejected from Earth's surface during major eruptions. Each addition would have brought new colors and textures to the ring system, ensuring that no two geological ages would have seen exactly the same ring configuration. Imagine the rings as they might have appeared during the age of dinosaurs, perhaps denser and more colorful than today, with volcanic ash from Earth's more active geological period, creating bands of red and orange material that would have made sunset skies unlike anything we can imagine. The great reptiles would have lived beneath cosmic architecture that painted their world in perpetual twilight beauty, with ring shadows creating climate zones that supported the lush vegetation these massive creatures needed to survive. During the ice ages, when Earth's climate fluctuated between glacial and interglacial periods, the rings would have provided natural climate moderation. The ring shadows would have prevented some regions from becoming too cold during glacial advances, while ring shine would have provided gentle warming during the coldest periods. Humans might never have experienced the full harshness of ice ages on a ringed Earth, instead living through periods of enhanced twilight beauty that would have seemed like gifts from the cosmic gods. As human civilization developed, different cultures throughout history would have witnessed different configurations of the ring system. Ancient civilizations would have built their mythologies around ring patterns that later cultures would never see, creating a historical record of human spiritual development that would be intimately connected to the slowly changing architecture of the sky above. The rings would have served as both calendar and inspiration, marking not just daily and seasonal time, but the passage of centuries and millennia. Looking toward the future of our hypothetical ringed Earth, the ring system would continue its slow evolution, but not toward emptiness or disappearance. Instead, the rings would gradually settle into increasingly stable configurations, with surviving particles finding orbital locations where they could dance safely for hundreds of millions of years. The future rings would be different from today's, perhaps less dense but more organized, with cleaner gaps and more pronounced spiral structure created by the accumulated gravitational influences of millions of years. Future humans, if they could still be called human after millions of years of evolution beneath cosmic jewelry, would inherit a ring system that represents the accumulated beauty of Earth's entire geological history. Each ring particle would be a time traveler, carrying within its crystalline structure the chemical memory of the epoch when it first joined the dance. Scientists of the future would be able to read the history of Earth's climate, volcanism, and even biological evolution by studying the composition and distribution of ring material. The rings would also serve as humanity's first stepping stones to the stars. As our technology advances, the ring system would become humanity's first off-world resource, providing material for space habitats and interplanetary spacecraft without the enormous energy cost of lifting materials from Earth's surface. The rings would transform from objects of beauty and wonder into humanity's cosmic infrastructure, the foundation for a spacefaring civilization that would eventually carry Earth's story to other star systems. But even as practical resources, the rings would never lose their spiritual significance. Future humans living and working in ring-based space habitats would wake each day to views of Earth crowned with the same cosmic jewelry that inspired their ancestors for millions of years. The rings would remain bridges between the practical and the transcendent, between human ambition and cosmic humility. In the very distant future, billions of years from now, when our sun begins to enter its final phases of stellar evolution, Earth's rings would serve as witnesses to the grandest transition in our planet's history. As our star grows brighter and eventually begins its transformation into a red giant, the rings would reflect and scatter this changing light, creating spectacular displays that would mark the end of Earth's current chapter and the beginning of whatever comes next. As you rest tonight in the gentle darkness of our ringless world, you can find peace in imagining yourself connected to these vast scales of cosmic time. A temporary participant in evolutionary processes so grand, they make human concerns seem as brief and beautiful as single snowflakes in an infinite winter sky. On a ringed Earth, you would never forget that you are part of a story that began billions of years ago and will continue billions of years into the future. A story written in light and shadow by cosmic architects who measure time not in human lifetimes, but in the patient orbital periods of celestial dancers who transform gradually, gracefully, eternally, reminding everyone who looks up that some beauty is so profound it can only be fully appreciated across the vast scales of geological time, where every moment is both fleeting and eternal. Every particle, both individual and part of the cosmic whole that connects all things in the gentle, endless dance of existence beneath skies that crown our world with starlight and time itself.